Okay, so here I am with my Super Track hub, and I thought I could replace the nipples of the original. Just keep the old spokes and replace the nipples with brass nipples, but I couldn't. So I ended up cutting all the old spokes off. Went to the store, bought new spokes and new nipples, and I'm gonna see if I can build this wheel. I've done it once before, and it's a little different than the front wheel, because it has the torque and all that stuff attached to it, so you can't just stick the spokes out radially. You have to have them coming off of the hub at an angle. You can see the marks where the old spokes came off of this fine Philwood hub, which, by the way, is just as smooth as it's been since the day I bought it, and I've ridden this thing extremely hard. This is my daily rider. So here we go. So the first spoke goes through one of these holes, and this is how it works. Cog side down. If the spoke hole to the right of the valve stem is lower than the one on the left, and in my case that's the way it is. So this spoke is lower than that one, so the cog side goes down, and so attach that through the left hole. And put a nipple on it. There we have it. So then you proceed around every fourth hole. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Every other. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Put a nipple on it. Whoops, yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put it in, all the way around. Okay, so I have all 8 in, and the next step, keep the valve stem here, is to flip it over. And you're going to take the hole next to here's the valve stem, so the spoke to the right of the valve stem, and if you look on the hub, the spokes are offset the holes are offset halfway. You're going to take the next hole over, pull it through, and that's going to go through the hole next to the first one right there. So you're going to have the valve spoke from the first set of 8, and then just to the right of the spoke, looking down, you're going to drop the second spoke in on the top. And then you just go around and do all 8 on top. So, skip a hole, drop a spoke, and now it's easy because that'll go in just to the right of the one that was there from the first batch. Put a nipple on it, and there you go, all the way around. Okay, time for the third set, and I think the third set is the most complicated. So according to the book, you drop all 8 spokes down through it. Every time I've tried that, I've just made a huge mess. So I'm going to drop 1 spoke down. And what you do is you turn the whole thing over, flip it over, and so here's the spoke coming out. Before you can attach it, you have to spin this thing. So it's time to rotate it, and you're going to rotate it, I don't know what to say, you're going to rotate it to the right. So so. So you should be looking at the spokes now coming off at an angle. And this spoke is going to go in the same line, collinear in a way, with this spoke. It's got to go under this one. So it's going to go like this, basically here. How can I describe that to you? Is that correct? Is that correct? Is that correct? That is correct. So, what it's going to do is it's going to go in the same line as this spoke. It's right next to that spoke, so these two spokes are right next to each other. And it's come down and attach in here, but it has to go under this spoke. So, getting it under that spoke, twist it a little bit, and then into that hole. Now is when attaching the spokes gets a little more complicated. So I have these little forceps which help me insert the spokes. Whoops. So, let's see if I can do it this way. No. So screwdriver. Okay, so there it is. Let's do one more. So, next one. That means the spoke has to come up through the other side. So, up through the other side, in, down, around, under this spoke, over that spoke, in that hole right there. Ooh, that looks good. And you can start to see that these spokes are in the same plane. And then, once again, forceps. Put that through here. And let's see if I can just screw it on with my fingers. Okay, so there are two, and then the other 6.